Good morning, students. Today I'm back with another new topic from English grammar. As you know, I'm Soumya Mishra and we are dealing with some of the most important topics from English grammar for Standard 9. Today's topic is active and passive voice. Okay. Now this topic is not new to many of you because you have been doing this topic since 3 to 4 years. But today we will see this topic from a different perspective, something new, something extra that we don't know, maybe that we will look into. But before that, we will have a run through from what we already know, okay, what you have been studying in your previous years. We will have a run through, quick revision of what we have been doing. We will cover that and then we will move on to see some other perspectives from this topic. Alright, as you know, active and passive voice. First we need to know what is active, what is passive. Active, you know, something is very active, energetic, something is functioning, something is operational, that we call as active, right? Passive is the one who is sitting quietly, an idle child, okay? Passive, who is not energetic, who is not active, who is something which is not functional or operational, it is a passive, okay? So for example, if I take in a park, some few students are playing or children are playing. Some children you see, they will run, they will chat, they will crawl, they will beat someone, they'll fight, they'll take up fights with everyone. Those children are very active, and some are there who will sit quietly, they enjoy the silence, they be quiet, they don't talk much, they don't chat much with others. Those children we can call them as passive. So you see, what is the role, the active and passive? The active is always active, okay, so something is active in it, right? And passive means they are idle, okay, they are not that much active, right? So how do we deal this in English grammar, that we will see today, okay? Which sentence we will call as active, which sentence we will call as passive, that we will be seeing in the slides. Okay, if I have given two pictures, I want you to look at these pictures very carefully, right? If you see the two pictures, okay, I don't know whether you can recognize, but I tried to get Dhoni's picture, MS Dhoni, okay? So in one picture, he has hit the ball, right? In the other picture also he has hit the ball. But what is the basic difference if you mark? The picture already marks the difference, that in one picture there is no particular thing, that we can see the picture as a whole, that one cricketer is there, he has hit the ball, right? And the ball is swinging in the air, and here if you see, I have marked the red color, okay? What is encircled in red? It is the ball. That ball has been encircled in red color. So what is the difference? Basically, here we are not pointing at a particular thing. Nothing is active in this picture, right? Nothing is active. But what we have pointed out in this picture? The ball. So we know that we are talking about something specific in this picture. Something is active in this picture, right? That picture also has a cricketer, a bat, a ball, a field, right? The wickets, right? This picture also has a cricketer, bat, ball, field, right? But what is active here? What we are trying to focus in this picture is this ball. But we are not trying to focus on anything in this picture, right? So what, by these pictures, what I mean to convey is that when we as speakers, we speak something, we try to focus, we try to stress upon one or the other thing. Sometimes we try to focus on the subject, okay, what we are talking about. Sometimes we try to focus on the receiver of the action, okay? What action? Who is receiving the action? For example, don't get confused, okay? If I say the thief was arrested, the thief was arrested. So what am I talking about? I am talking about the procedure of arresting. Okay, someone is arrested. Who is arrested? The thief was arrested. Now the thief, I am focusing on the thief Now who will arrest the thief? Obviously the police will arrest the thief, right? Who will arrest the thief? The police will arrest the thief. So when I'm saying the thief was arrested, I did not say the thief was arrested by the police. Did I say? No. Only I said the thief was arrested, right? But here, who is doing the action? What is the action first of all? Let us do it here. I told you the thief was arrested, right? What is the verb here? Obviously the main verb is arrested. The action is arresting of the thief, right? So who is being arrested? Now the thief is being arrested, okay? Who will arrest the thief? The police will arrest the thief. Who will arrest? The police will arrest the thief. But I am not talking about police. I just said the thief was arrested, okay? But I am not talking about the police. That means what I am trying to do, I am trying to put my focus only on the thief, not on the police. That's why I chose to not say the police. It was my choice, the speaker's choice. The speaker has the choice of choosing on what he wants to speak about. Okay, that is active and passive. How is that active and passive? We are making the thief active here, okay, and we are making the police passive here, right? We don't want to bring the police in the scenario, in the scene, okay? We don't want to bring the police in the scene. Though it is understandable that the thief will be arrested by the police only, but we chose not to say police because we don't want to put our focus on police. Rather, we are focusing on the thief. Understood? So it is the choice of the speaker on what he wants to focus on, right? So similarly, if you look here in this pictures that I showed you, in the first picture as I told, we are not focusing on any particular thing. We don't want to focus on the cricketer, bat or ball, but in this picture we are focusing on the ball, right? So we are making the ball active here. So what we are making? We are making the ball as our subject. We are making the ball active here. Okay, that is the basic difference between active and passive voice. Okay, sometimes we choose to make some things active. What we choose to make active? Sometimes it is the subject who is doing the action. Okay, means it is sometimes it is the doer, okay? It is sometimes the doer of the action, and sometimes it is the receiver, okay, who receives the action. Doer does some action and the receiver will receive the action, okay? We can say doer as agent also. Sometimes we call doer as agent, okay? Agent means who causes the action, and receiver means on whom the action falls upon, okay? Who receives the action. The effect of the action is received by the receiver, or the effect of the action falls upon the receiver, right? So doer, receiver, or agent or receiver. That is clear, I think. Okay. So what I want to say is that when we are talking, we talk about only one particular thing. At the same time, we can't make both the subject active, both the things active. Either we have to make the doer active in the sentence, or we have to make the receiver active in the sentence, right? It depends on what we want to prioritize, what we want to stress upon, whether it is important for us. Suppose my father is a policeman. Okay, so I will come proudly and say, oh, my father, the police caught the thief. Okay, the police arrested the thief. Okay, because I want to stress that I want to tell you that okay, my father is the police, I am proud of it, I am taking pride in it. So I want to say that the police arrested the father. I want to tell you that see, my father has done a great job and he had arrested the police. But maybe for other people, the thief, the arrest of the thief was important. So what will they say? They will rather focus on the arrest of the thief. They will say, oh, finally, thank God the thief is arrested. Okay, the thief is arrested. So you see, for the child whose father is a police, she chose to talk about the police, that the police arrested the thief, because she wants to stress on the work done by his father, that my father is a police and he arrested the thief, you see, such a great job. But for others, okay, what is important? For them, the arresting of the thief is important. So what they tried to do? They told that the thief is arrested, right? So what they chose? They chose the thief as the main focus area. But the child whose father is a police, she chose the police as her main focus area. Now you get the difference. So what I am saying is that the same sentence can be told in many different ways, and it depends on the speaker, okay, the environment, the situation, the context of which the speaker talking about. It depends on all that whether we want to make doer or agent the hero, or whether we want to make the receiver the hero of the sentence. Okay, hero means the main protagonist, the main character of the sentence. So it depends on us whether we will make the doer as the hero, the main character, or the receiver as the hero in a sentence. And that comes to the part that whether it is active or passive. Now, when it is active, when we are making the doer or the agent the main character, that becomes active. Again, I am repeating, when we are making the agent, okay, the doer of this sentence as the main character, as the hero, then the sentence is called an active sentence. But when we are making the receiver, okay, the receiver we are making as the main character or main hero of our sentence, then it will be called as passive sentence. Okay, the doer, if it is we are focusing on the doer, it's active. If we are focusing on the receiver, it's passive, right? So now let's come to the next slide. What do we have? Okay, what is voice? First of all, what is voice? Voice is the form a verb takes to indicate whether the subject of the verb performs or receives the action. Again, voice is the form of a verb takes to indicate, okay, whether the subject of the verb performs or receives the action. Now, in all this sentence, what is important is that subject, okay, this subject, what we are making as subject, that is important, okay, what we are making as subject. I told you, sometimes we make the doer the subject and sometimes we make the receiver the subjects, right? So what we are making the subject, whether we want to make the doer as the subject or the receiver as the subject, that is important, okay, and that will decide our voice, okay. The subject will decide the voice of the sentence. In the previous example, I made it quite clear that when we are making the police as the subject, the police is the doer of the action of arresting. So the police is the doer, right? So when we made the subject, the police arrested the thief, okay, so we focused on the doer, so that is an active voice sentence, okay. And when we said the thief was arrested, what we said, we put our focus on the receiver. Now what is the action? Arresting. Who received the action? The thief, okay. The police arrested the thief, okay, so thief received the action, okay. So when we are making the thief as the main subject of the sentence, then what happens? That becomes a passive sentence, because we made the receiver as the hero of the sentence. Okay, we made receiver as the subject, our main focus as the subject of our sentence. So it is the passive voice sentence, because whenever we make receiver as the main one, then it is passive, and whenever we make the doer as the main character or subject of the sentence, it is active. Alright, this is, I think, very clear in your mind. Let us now go to the next example. Okay, active voice and passive voice already we have discussed. Let's have a look at the definition. Okay, active voice is used to show that the subject of the sentence is performing or causing the action. I told you doer. Okay, so the subject of the sentence is performing or causing. Performing, when we are, I have written two words, okay, specifically to mark that. Performing, when we are saying, when he is performing, what we are doing? I told you doer. Okay, doer means simply who is doing the action, right? Who is doing the action, that is the doer. When he is causing, causing means he is causing the action to happen. Okay, causing, that means he is the agent. He is the agent, right? Okay, so when he is performing, he can be called as doer, or whenever he is causing the action to happen, we can call it as agent of the action, right? I think this is clear. So what we are saying, that active voice will show, okay, show that the subject of the sentence, who is the main hero in the sentence, the active voice will show that the doer is the hero in the sentence, okay, and the agent is the hero of the sentence, right? We will talk about the agent or doer of the action, then it is active voice. For example, Dhoni threw the ball, or I can say Dhoni hit the ball, right? So what I am trying to do, what is the action here? Threw, this is the action, this is the verb here, right? This is the verb here, threw, throw is the action word, that is a verb, right? So what is the action? Threw. Now who is throwing? Dhoni. Who is throwing? Dhoni is throwing the ball. Who is throwing? Dhoni. So Dhoni becomes the doer, okay? Dhoni becomes the doer, right? Dhoni is the doer. Now on what the action falls upon? What is being thrown? So ball is being thrown. So what is it? Ball is the receiver. Where is it? Ball is the receiver, right? So doer, action, receiver, right? Doer, action, receiver. Okay, three things, it is very important. Voice is all about three main things, that is, one is doer, one is receiver, and the third thing which is happening, action. If you don't know what action is being happening, what is the action in the sentence, we cannot define who is the doer. We cannot find out who is the doer and who is the receiver, right? So first we have to identify action, then we will get who is the doer and who is the receiver, right? So we got the thing that Dhoni is the doer, and since we are focusing on Dhoni, I am not telling about the ball. Here I am trying to tell about Dhoni, that Dhoni threw the ball, right? So I am focusing on Dhoni, the doer. So when I am focusing on the doer, what is the sentence will called as? It will be in active voice sentence, right? I hope this is clear. Whenever we are talking about doer, like Dhoni here, the sentence will be active voice. Now next come to passive voice. What is passive voice? Passive voice is used when the subject is the recipient of the action, when the subject is the recipient. So don't get confused with the new word recipient. what comes to your mind when I say recipient? Which word comes to your mind? Recipient means the receiver of the action. Recipient means the receiver of the action, right? So what is it saying? When the subject is the recipient of the action. So what is the subject? Again, subject is talking about the hero of the sentence. Who is the hero of the sentence? In passive voice, the hero of the sentence is the recipient, the receiver, right? The hero of the subject of the sentence is the recipient, the one who receives the action, right? Come to the example. The ball was thrown by Dhoni. See, in the active voice, what we did? Dhoni threw the ball. Okay, we were not talking about ball there, ball which was receiving the action of throwing, but we were talking about Dhoni there, okay, who threw the ball. But here we are not talking about Dhoni. Dhoni comes at the last, okay. What we are talking about? We are talking about the ball, okay, who received the action. We are talking about the ball. So what is the ball? Ball is the receiver, or I can say recipient of the action, receiver of the action of throwing ball, right? Thrown is the verb here. It is the verb here, right? Verb, action is being happening, and Dhoni, who did the action, he is the doer. He is the doer, right? But what we made here, we are not making this Dhoni as the main subject, but we are making the receiver as the main subject, main hero of the sentence. So whenever we are making the receiver as the main hero of the sentence, it is called as passive voice sentence, right? I hope this is clear. So what is active and what is passive? I hope that's clear to you. Okay, now it says, why does it matter? Why exactly does it matter that, ma'am, whether we say Dhoni threw the ball or the ball was thrown by Dhoni? Why does it matter? Because it means the same, okay. Although it means the same, but as I told you in the previous example, that the speaker has the choice to choose whether he wants to make the subject as the main or the receiver as the main, right? So it may be important for the speaker, okay. It is on the speaker whether he wants to make the subject important or the object, the receiver of the action as important subject in his sentence, right? So active voice is more direct and concise, okay, but passive voice is usually direct, right? Active voice is more direct and concise. Why is it direct and concise? Because when I told you that Dhoni threw the ball, it looks like a simple sentence, okay. So we know that some action is happening. Who is doing the action? We know at the first half of the sentence only we know that who is doing the action, okay. So every time if you look at the puzzle or if you look at a book, okay, if in the gist, in the first 5 to 6 lines you get that what is the story about, what is this book about, you feel very relaxed in your mind, okay. It happens with me, because if I know what is there inside the book, I will be more interested in reading, right? So until we know what is there in store for us, we will not be relaxed, right? So what happens is that active voice tells us that who is doing the action. So we know half the truth, okay, in the first half only. But in passive voice, you will not know who is doing, okay, what action is being taken. So you will not know that. So passive voice is kind of little bit indirect, okay. So it's not very precise, okay. It's not very direct, but it is indirect, right? So we, as in speech, in our functional language, okay, in our colloquial language also, we make use of active voice sentences a lot. but when it comes to writing we use passive voice sentence, and that's why this topic becomes very important for standard 9-10 students, because there is something called creative writing, there is something called sentence rearrangement, right, jumbled sentences. So in that you will be getting more of passive voice sentences. When it comes to essay writing, short story writing, you can be you shall be using more of passive voice sentences. That's why it is important that you know the structure, the usage of passive voice sentence, right? So I hope this is clear. Active voice is direct. We use more active voice in our spoken language, in our day-to-day language, but passive voice is indirect, and we use it most in written languages, in creative writing and all other languages, right? Okay, just now I told you why would we want to use passive voice sentence, because when the work is being done with active voice, why do we really want to use passive voice, that we need to know. I told you it's from examination point of view it's important, because while creative writing, while we are doing for short story or dialogue writing, conversation or something, we are depending on passive voice sentences a lot. Okay, so which are the situations there we can use passive voice sentences, that we will see here. Okay, in what situations you can make up a passive voice sentence, you can fit it into the passage or the short story you are writing, right? So first one, when intentionally trying to hide the subject of the sentence. Okay, so let me tell you. Okay, let's see the example first. A politician or official might say the mistake was made by someone. Okay, the mistake was made by someone. So here what is he doing? He is hiding the subject. Helps him or her hide the blame. Okay, so what he is doing here, the politician is saying that the mistake was made. Okay, the mistake was made by someone. So what he is doing, the mistake he is making the main subject, main hero of the sentence is the mistake. He is not focusing on who did the mistake, but he is focusing on the mistake itself, the receiver itself, right? So what he is trying to do, he is trying to protect the doer of the action. Okay, when we are not talking about the doer of the action, we are trying to protect it in some way. Okay, we don't want to make him come to the front, we want to stay the doer at the back of the stage, right? So here also the politician might have made some mistake, okay, or the officer or some other personnel might have made the mistake, and they are coming and saying that the mistake was made by someone, the mistake was made. Okay, so what he is trying to do, he is not lying here, but he is just telling the half truth, right? So the mistake was made, he is saying that someone made the mistake. Okay, the mistake was made. So what is he trying to do? He is focusing on mistake and not who did the mistake. So what he is trying to do, he is protecting the one who did the mistake, okay, who committed the crime. I hope this is clear. So intentionally we are trying to hide the sentence, intentionally we are trying to hide the subject, the doer, right? So if a glass is broken, if a vase, flower vase is broken in your home, what we will do? Suppose your parents are away, okay, and they come back and they find that a huge flower vase, a very beautiful one, it was broken and someone scattered pieces are around there in your house. So how you are trying to explain that? Okay, the vase broke down, okay, the vase broke or the vase broke somehow. Okay, so when I am saying the vase broke, okay, the vase broke, the flower vase broke, what I am saying, the flower vase is the receiver of the action. So I am focusing on the receiver of the action. I am focusing on the receiver of the action. I am not saying to my parents that who broke it. Maybe you and your two siblings are there, three of you are there. So I am not saying who broke it. Rather I am saying that the vase was broken. Okay, so I am only focusing on the receiver, right? I am only focusing on the receiver, that the vase was broken. So intentionally I am trying to hide who did the action, who is the doer, okay, because if I say, then he will get scolded, right? So I am trying to hide it. So in those times we can make use of passive voice. See, it's very helpful, okay. If you want to hide something, some mischief or something you have done, you can use passive voice very smartly, intelligently, right? So this is the use of passive voice, one of the uses. Come to the next use. When intentionally trying to minimize the guilt of the subject. For example, a thief might say, cheating was committed by me, okay. So when the thief is saying cheating was committed by me, what he is trying to do, he is not saying I committed the cheating, okay, I made the forgery. He is not saying that. Rather, he is using the word cheating, okay. So what is he trying to do? He is trying to protect himself by making him come at the last of the sentence, okay. When he is speaking also, he is talking about the cheating, not about him who did it, okay. So in that also passive voice is helpful. Next, when passive voice better emphasizes the main point of the message, such as children were harmed by the drunk driver, okay. So one incident happened, okay. So the few children, maybe they were coming from picnic or they were going to home after the school, and unfortunately there was a bus accident, and the parents, they are talking, okay. So what are important for the parents? Obviously their children are important. For any parent, their children are important. So they will not say about the driver first. What they are talking about? They are talking about children first, because they want their focus to be on children. But children are the receiver of the action, okay. So children were harmed because of the accident. So harmed is the verb here. So what is the verb harm? Harms, who is the receiver of the action? The children. These are the receiver. And who did the action? The bus driver. So the bus driver harmed the children, okay. That is the active voice sentence. The bus driver is the doer, harmed the children. Children is the receiver. But here what we are saying? We are saying children were harmed by the bus driver, means the parents want their focus to be on children, okay. Children is more important for them, children are more important for them, so they want to focus on children. They are not talking about bus driver first. They are talking that, oh my God, our children are harmed by that drunk, careless bus driver, right? Now you understand. Now it depends on the speaker that whom he chooses to make the main hero, the subject of the sentence, right? So in this case also passive voice is used, right? When you want to make the receiver the subject of your sentence, okay. I hope this is clear, right? Okay, other than that, besides these 3 points, there is also one thing I told you, story writing. When you are writing short story, you can make use of passive voice, okay. To develop the story, you can make use of passive voice, okay. So when we are developing the story, many a times it happens that we want to talk about the receiver of the action more, okay. Suppose I am talking about some victims of a war or something. I want the victims to be my main subject, okay. Or maybe someone's ring is stolen. I am just a simple story if I want to frame. Someone's ring is stolen. I want to make the person whose ring is stolen as the main subject, okay. So if the ring is stolen, who will steal the ring? Obviously the thief, okay. So who is the doer here? The thief. The thief will steal the ring, okay, of some person. But what I am trying to do is that I am not making the thief as the main hero of my story. I want to make the person whose ring is stolen, how sad he is, how disheartened he is that his valuable ring, maybe his wedding ring or something has been stolen. It's very expensive, valuable one, precious ring has been stolen. So I want to talk about the emotions faced by the one of the one whose ring is stolen, okay, not of the thief. So what I am trying to do here, again I am trying to make the thief as the subject, main focus of my sentence. So sorry, not the thief, the person whose ring is stolen as the subject. So in that case also I am making the thief sit in the side and talking about the person whose ring is stolen. In that case also I can make use of passive voice sentence, okay. While developing a story, it's also comes handy, right. Okay, now come to the conversion. This you might have done in your previous classes, but we will see what to do, okay. So I told you, first of all we need to know the doer, the receiver, the verb, action, what is happening, I told you, right. But what we need to do first, identify the subject, verb and object of the sentence, okay. Subject is the doer and object receiver, right, receiver of the sentence, and verb of the sentence. First one is we have to identify, we have to find out, we have to point out which is the subject, which is the verb and which is the object of the sentence. Secondly, what we have to do, we have to make the object of the active sentence into the subject of the passive sentence. Color is being changed. Why is it been changed? Because we are changing the roles of subject and object, okay. We are making yellow blue and blue yellow. Can you understand? We are swapping the places. We are swapping, okay, exchanging the places of subject and object, the doer and receiver, right. So we are making the subject, object of the first sentence as subject and subject of the second sentence as object of the first sentence, okay. Next one, supply a suitable helping verb to be form, helping verb before the main verb. We have to supply that, we will do in the next slide, okay. Change the main verb into past participle form. So what we have to do in the fourth step, we have to change the verb into past participle form. What is past participle form? V3 form. V1 is base form, V2 is past form, V3 is past participle form. That means write, wrote, written, drink, drank, drunk, sing, sang, sung, okay. So sung, written, drunk, okay, driven, all these are past participle form, okay. Third form of verb. So we have to supply one third form of verb. Then what we have to do, change the subject of active sentence into object of passive sentence. I told you this swap thing, this both the steps are almost similar. We have to swap it, exchange it, the places. Add preposition by before the subject, okay. So we have to add the preposition by followed by the verb just after the verb or before the sentence. So this is the steps which is quite confusing, I know. When we will be doing solving the sentences, you will get a clearer picture, right. So all these 5 to 6 steps we have to do and we are good to go, right. Let's see. Okay, before that I gave this table which will show you how the tenses, based on the tenses, what is the criteria and how the sentences and verb will get changed. Not exactly the sentence, the verb will get changed, right. So in the first one you see, these are all the tenses, right. So present simple, present continuous, perfect, like that, all the tenses are there, and these are the active forms and these are the passive voice forms, right. So we will just look at the orange highlighted part, okay. So only at the verb. When I am saying present simple, the teacher punishes me, okay. Who is the doer? The teacher is the doer. What is the action? Punishes, and me, I am the receiver of the action, right. So if I want to make it into passive, what will I say? I will make me as the main focus of my sentence. I told you, whenever it is passive voice, we are making the receiver of the action as the main focus. So I want to make me come first at the sentence. So what will I do? I will make it I, right? That I will show you once again. I'll make it I. I am punished by the teacher. Now see, when I made it I, with I cannot use I is, okay. I cannot use I is, always I have to use I am, right. So I made it am, so I provided one suitable helping verb, and then I made the punish is V1 plus S form, base form plus S, punish plus ES, punishes, okay. So I made it V3 form, punished, V3 form, and then I wrote by the teacher. I added the by, and then the doer I made it come at the last, okay. So is it clear that the receiver was made the main subject and the doer was made the was not made the main subject of the sentence, right. Come to the next one, present continuous. The teacher is punishing me. So what I am doing, I am being punished by the teacher, okay. The teacher is punishing the boy. The boy becomes the main subject here, is being punished by the teacher. So what I want to look here in the sentence is that you have to look at the verb here, okay. When it is punishes, what we are doing, I am making is am punished based on the subject. If it is I am punished, if it is the boy or he or she, what am I using, is punished, okay. So is helping verb, punished is V3 form of verb. So when it is the boys, plural form, what I am using, are as the helping verb, are punished by the teacher, right. When it is present continuous, is punishing, is punishing, is punishing, in all these three sentences, what I am making, when it is I am being punished, when it is the boy, he or she, what will I do, is being punished, okay. And when it is plural, the boys are being punished. So you see how the verb is changing in every sentence, right. Next one, past simple. The teacher punished me. I will change this into I was punished by the teacher, right. Next one, past continuous, something which was happening continuously in the past. The teacher was punishing me. I was being punished by the teacher. See, was punishing changes to was being punished. Whenever continuous is there, being will be used, but it will depend. This is, am, this will, are, this will all depend on whether it is present form or past form, right. Next one, past continuous. The teacher was punishing me. I was being punished by the teacher. Present perfect, the teacher has punished me. What I have made, I have been punished by the teacher. Past perfect, something which has been completed in the past time only. The teacher had punished me. I had been punished by the teacher, right. Next one, future simple. The teacher will punish me. Future simple, in future. So what I am saying, I will be punished by the teacher. Will punish me, I will be punished by the teacher. Going to future, the teacher is going to punish me, means I am talking about the future continuous, okay. I am going to be punished by the teacher, okay. These are conditionals, would, models, and those will take would be form, must be, would be will have to be added at the last. The teacher can punish me, I can be punished by the teacher. The teacher could punish me, I could be punished by the teacher, okay. So I hope this is clear. When this is not something to be dreaded of, okay. When you go on practicing, okay, little by little, you will get what to do, what to change, right. So here, if punish is becoming something verb form with V3 form, okay, some helping verb with V3 form, here also is punishing is becoming being punished, being, okay. So helping verb being plus V3 form. So these are all these structures and formulas, but if you go by formula, then it's very difficult to remember. If you practice more and more, you will have a hold on it, right. So let's do some examples. So let us now look at some examples. He plays chess. So this is in simple present tense. Who is the doer? He. Okay, what is the action? Plays. What is the object here? Chess. Okay, very simple sentence. So what we have to do, doer, or I can say this is the subject. Okay, so first step was we had to identify subject, verb and object, right? We identified. Next what we have to do, we have to change the position. Okay, we have to change the position. We have to make the object as the subject and subject as the object in passive voice. Okay, if you change the position, what we have to do, chess is here, chess will come here, right? Chess comes here. Then what we have to do, we have to make it that side. Okay, to make it that side, when we have to make a pronoun subject as object, we have to use its objective case. What is objective case? Him. Okay, so if I talk about objective case, I can show you here. Any pronoun is there, any pronoun is there, I have to make the objective case of the pronoun. That means I, he, she, they, all this will be changed. Okay, so if he is there, it will be him. If she is there, it will be her. If they is there, it will be them. Like that it will be changed, right? Not them, they, them. Okay, so whenever pronoun is there, we have to take the objective case. This is, I think, clear to you. You know this, right? Okay, so let's come to here. Chess. Then I made the he come here, him. Okay, I have to put before him, I have to put by preposition. I have to put the preposition by, and then now I have to work with the verb. So what will be the verb? I have to put one helping verb. So chess, present form, chess is singular present. For singular present, what helping verb? I'll take is, right? I'll take is. Okay, then I have to make this as V3. This is V1 plus S form. I have to make this as V3 form. What will be the V3 form of play? Play, played, played, right? So chess is played. Chess is played by him. Okay, so if you look, what is the general structure? This is the object. Okay, this is the after object. We are producing one helping verb. Okay, then we are producing one V3 form. We are producing one V3 form. Then we are putting by, and then we are putting the subject. Okay, we are changing the place of the subject here. Okay, so this is the form. Okay, this is the form of passive voice. Okay, I hope this is clear how we are changing all these 6 steps I told you. We have to change it like this, right? Okay, now next come to the next example. Present continuous. She is writing a book. Okay, so what will be the answer? A book is being written by her. Okay, she will become her, a book will come here, a book is being written by her, right? Got it? How the continuous tense is changing. Next one is present perfect tense. Okay, some work which has been finished just now. Okay, so see, though it is in present tense, something which has finished just now, we have to use present perfect. Javed has baked a cake. So that means he has baked a cake today or just few hours before he baked a cake. What is the action receiver? Cake. So we have to write a cake was a cake has been baked by Javed. What will become here? This has baked will change into has been baked. Okay, baked. Then we have to put by Javed. Okay, so a cake has been baked by Javed. That will be the answer. Okay, cake will come here, Javed goes there, has baked will change with has been baked. Okay, present perfect tense. All this is very simple if you practice a lot. Okay, no one can help you with this, but practice, practice and practice. My father bought a car. A car was bought by my father. Okay, my father bought a car. Car is the receiver. Car will come here. A car was bought. Helping verb was bought. V3 form. This is V2 form. V3 form is also bought. A car was bought by my father. Simple. Come to the next one. Okay, past continuous tense. Sherry was driving the car. The car was being driven. Remember, is being like that. Here it will be was being driven by Sherry. Right? The car was being driven by Sherry. Past perfect tense. Jerry had finished the homework. Okay, Jerry had finished the homework. What we will write here? The homework is the object here. Okay, receiver. The homework. Had is there, no? Had is there. So we have to write had only. Had. Had been finished, right? Finished by Jerry. So you see what is changing? Had finished is changing into had been finished, right? Okay, and then we are exchanging the position, right? And we are putting the preposition by. I hope this is clear. Okay, the more practice you will have, the more clarity you will develop in this topic. Oh, sorry. Simple future tense. He will not help you. Okay, you will not be helped by him. You will not be helped by him. Okay, or it will, if the sentence is he will help you, you will be helped by him. So will be helped. Will be plus verb third form. Right? Next one. Future perfect tense. The officer will have taken action. Okay, the officer will have taken action. The action will have been taken by the professor. What will change here? This will have will change into will have been. This taken, this is V3 form, this will come here, sorry, V3 form. Okay, will have been taken. The action will have been taken by the officer, right? I hope this is getting clear, little bit clear. Okay. Okay, these four tenses do not have passive form. Okay, so we whatever passive form we had, we already discussed. Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous, and future continuous doesn't have a passive form. Why is it so? You find it out. If you can't find it out, mail to us. We will try to discuss. Okay, but just remember in your mind that all these forms, all these tenses do not have a passive form. Okay, infinitives. Okay, what is an infinitive? 2 plus verb. 2 plus verb is an infinitive, right? This one is infinitive. 2 plus verb form. Okay, so he had to pay the fine. How do we change the infinitive? The fine. Okay, we want to make the fine as the hero of our sentence. The fine had. What is the helping verb? Had to. Then it will be paid. Had to be paid by him. The fine had to be paid by him. This head will be here only. To, then we will add B and pay becomes V3 form, V3, okay, paid by him, right? Okay, now come to the next one. Infinitives is over. Models, okay, when models are there, I told you we have to add one B to it. You may take my pen may be taken by you. See, we are adding B after it, and rest of the rules are same with models, right? So only we have to add one B. If it is could here, you have to add could be, should be, may be, like that we have to add one B, and the rest exchanging and all thing remains same for models. Okay, this is very important. Commands. When we are saying commands, close the door, close the window, give me the pen. Okay, so these are all commands. So when commands are there, you see who is giving the command to whom we don't know. Okay, so how we will make the passive voice? We will use the sentence like this. Let the window be shut. Let the window be closed. Like that I'll make this sentence. Okay, pass the color. Let the color be passed. Okay, so who is doer, who is receiver, we don't know. We can do this thing. Take the books. Let the books be taken. Okay, B plus V3 form, right? Request. Kindly help him. Let him be helped. Okay, so this is a request. Let him be helped. Please pass the book. Okay, please pass the book. This is also a request. Let the book be passed, right? The let the book be passed. This is also a request. Okay, now this is something, the sentence has two objects here. You see, the sentence have two objects here. One is me, one is gift. Okay, if two objects are there, the passive will also be two types. A gift was sent to me by Cheryl. Okay, one is I was sent a gift by Cheryl. So when I want to make this person as main, I am starting the sentence with I. Okay, so I was sent a gift by Cheryl. Okay, Cheryl is the subject doer. But when I want to make the gift as the main subject, what I am doing? A gift was sent to me by Cheryl. I hope this is clear. This is when we are making this as the main, we are making use of this sentence. Okay, when we are taking gift as the main, we are making use of this sentence. Okay, this is also some tricky questions that you get in exam. Sometimes the passive will be objects will be of two types, then you can have two sentences. Okay, now this is something important. Some verbs do not have by after it. Okay, suppose I know you, you are known to me. See, I am not using by me, I am using to me. This box contains sweets. Sweets are contained in this box. Okay, by this box, I am not saying in this box. His answers satisfied them. They were satisfied with his answers. They were satisfied with his answers, not by his answers. So these prepositions, or if I say okay, his behavior surprises me. Okay, so how will I say? I am surprised at his behavior. At. Okay, so to, in, with, at, or some sentences are like that where you cannot use by, but you will use all these prepositions, right? So I hope this is clear, the whole class on active and passive voice. I urge you to practice a lot, and if you have any doubt, you can mail us. We will help you solve the doubts, but practice a lot and you will be perfect in this topic. Thank you.